Okay. Yeah. Vectors 1.6, 1.8. Identify the zero scalar product. When do two vectors multiply up to get zero? When they are perpendicular. So these two vectors are perpendicular to this given vector. Okay, that's why their product is zero. The midpoint C of a segment AB is located at a point 2, 3. So this is the midpoint. Okay, the coordinates of A are this. What's B? We know that the midpoint M is equal to x1 plus x2 over 2, comma y1 plus y2 over 2. Okay, x1, in this case, x of A and x of B, right? So x of A plus x of B, هيدي y of A وهيدي y of B. Okay, x of A we know is 1. We're trying to find x of B over 2 equals, what's the x component of the midpoint? 2. And then here, y of A, which is negative 1, plus y of B over 2 equals 3, right? هيدي multiply by 2, you get 1 plus xb equals 4, xb equals 3. Okay, هون multiply by 2, you get 6, so minus 1 plus y of b equals 6, you get y of b equals 7. So 3 x of b equals 3, y of b equals 7, so 3 comma 7. Okay, how is vector AB represented? Okay, we know vector AB. How do you find the vector AB? It's x of A, sorry, yeah, it's always final minus initial, right? In this case, x of B, not x of A. X of B minus x of A, because it's A, B. Oh, شو over, yeah. Okay, and then y of B minus y of A. Okay, x of B is 7, x of A is 1, y of B is, sure, x of B is 7, as the x of B is 3, not 7. Okay, y of B is 7, y of A is 3, as the y of, am I tweet? X of B, B is here, B is 3 comma 7, x of B is 3, x of A is 1. Okay, y of B is 7, y of A is negative 1, so it's 4, 8. So as شو 4 guys, 3 minus 1 is 2, not 4. 8, so 2i plus 8j. Okay, part C, then what's the distance between point A and point B? To find the distance D, you know, it's radical x between A and B, so x of B minus x of A squared plus squared plus y of B minus y of A squared. So it's gonna be x of B minus x of A, so x of B 1, x of B is 3 قصدي, 3 minus 1, the order doesn't matter by the way, squared plus y of B minus y of A, 7 minus 1, and you get 16, as you know, 4 plus 64, 68, you get, let's just do some calculator, you're gonna get radical 68, 8.2. Midpoint C of a segment AB is located at this. The length of AB is 20. The segment is known to make an angle of 37 degrees. Find vector AC in terms of I and J. So this one is a bit tricky, but it took me a few seconds to realize. They gave us the midpoint, okay? And then they gave us the length of AB. So let's think about it like this, okay? We have point C, which is over here, okay? We know that this C, it's a midpoint of a segment, okay? Okay, they said that the length of that segment AB is 20. Okay, and then they said this segment is known to make an angle of 37. So actually, the angle here between C also will be 37 between the horizontal. Okay, so there you want us to find vector AC. Let's say, I don't know, wherever. Let's say A is, مش عارف, here. Okay, so this is the segment AC, right? The vector AC. طب نحنا we know that it was originally AB, and we know that vector AB is 20 meters. But here they said C is the midpoint, so you just do what, half the distance, right? So half of 20 is 10. So I just found out that my magnitude of the vector is 10. Found that the magnitude of the vector is 10. Length, by the way, is the same thing as magnitude. Okay, if the magnitude of AB is 20, AC is half of that, right? So AC, the magnitude of AC is 10. And we also have the angle theta, which is 37 degrees. Can we now find the x component and the y component? Can we just convert it back into Cartesian? Yes, we can. How do we find the x component? It's 10 cosine 37, and the y component is 10 cosine, 10 sine 37. Okay, if you do 10 cos sine, 10 cosine, whatever, 10 cosine 37, you get 8, or 10 sine 37, you get 6. Okay, أكيد you can just press recall as the shift rec, and you can put what, well, it was 10, how do I put a comma? Oh, 10, what do I do? Just, oh shit, 10 10 or 37, right? You get 7, same thing. Okay, now we know the vector is 8i plus 6j, right? So AC is 8i plus 6j. They now want A. What is A? Okay, now we have C, right? We have C, it's 3 comma 3. Can we find A? Yes, we know that AC is x of C minus x of A, and the y of C minus y of A, right? X of C is 3, and y of C is also 3, so 3, 3. Okay, minus x of A. X of A, we don't know, we're trying to find it, right? And then y of A, we're also trying to find it. Okay, this is equal to 8 and 6, right? 3 minus x of A, that means we're doing 3 minus, you get x of A is equal to minus 5. Y of A is equal to minus 3. Okay, minus 5 minus 3. So just remember for that question, if you see midpoint and you see distance, just half it, okay? Because midpoint يعني in the half, in the middle. The coordinates of midpoint C of vector AB is 10. The unit vector in the direction of AB is this. And the magnitude of AB is 10. Okay, again, they want x coordinate of B and y coordinate of B, whatever. Okay, here they gave you the unit vector, right? And they gave you that what the magnitude is. Now we know that the unit vector U is equal to the vector divided by the magnitude of the vector, right? Okay, ماشي. نحن here we want the point B. Okay, usually we're gonna find what vector AB is, and we're gonna see that vector AB is x of B minus x of A, y of B minus y of A. But here's the thing, we don't have A. Okay, how are we gonna find B if we don't have A? We can't. But what do we have? We have C. So technically we can use the vector CB, right? طب وليد, how are you gonna find CB if you have AB? ما نحن we know that we have that C is the midpoint of AB. And what did we say from the last question? If you have a midpoint, what do? You just divide your magnitude by 2 and you get 5. Okay, so we know that the unit vector U whatever in this case is going to be equal to the vector CB divided by the magnitude of the vector CB. Okay, the vector CB, okay, whatever, it's in the same direction as this. So we're going to say it's minus 0.6i plus 0.8j. Okay, with unit vectors, it doesn't matter because unit vectors, it's just talking about the direction. If they're in the same direction, which in this case they are, it doesn't matter. You don't have to divide by 2. The only thing we're dividing by 2 is the magnitude, okay? Equals, CB equals the unit vector. Oh, sorry. This was the unit vector. Sorry, this was the unit vector. Equals the vector CB, which we don't know, we're trying to find, right? Over the magnitude of CB, which is 5. Okay, unit vector equals CB over 5. Hello, we just multiply everything by 5. You're going to get minus 0.3, sorry, show us the minus 3i plus 4j. So this is your vector, minus 3i plus 4j, CB. Okay, now we have point C, okay, which is 10 minus 3. How do we find B? You can either just directly add minus 3 plus 10, 7, minus 3 plus 4, 1. Okay, because, you know, we're going from C to B. So just apply the vector to C to get to B. You can do this, or you can split CB into x of B minus x of C, y of B minus y of C. X of C and y of C is 10 minus 3. Okay, so xb minus 10, y of B minus 3 equals oh my god, yeah, equals minus 3 4. You're gonna get xb equals 7, and you're gonna get y of B equals y of B is 4 minus 3 becomes plus 3, 4 minus 3, 1. Yeah, you get xb equals 7, y of B equals 1. Okay, how many questions? 11. Okay, the endpoints of A, B have this and this. The distance between A and B, okay, this is pretty self-explanatory. I like these vector questions, صراحة. They were pretty, I think he might get one of them. They're creative, you know. Okay, we know it's x of B minus x of A squared. So minus 3 minus 1 squared is minus 4 squared. Okay, plus minus 3 minus 9 squared is minus 12 squared. So you get 12.6 to 1 decimal place. The coordinates of C, the midpoint of AB, how do you find the midpoint? It's this one plus this one divided by 2, right? x1 plus x2 over 2. So 1 minus 3 divided by 2. 1 minus 3 divided by 2 is minus 1. Then 9 plus minus 3, which is 6 divided by 2, 3. Okay, minus 1 comma 3. I'm not writing the formula because خلاص I wrote it before. A line R passes, I forgot about. A line R passes through points A and B. Okay, the distance between these points. How do we find the distance? As Saria will do the distance. 3 minus 1 squared. It doesn't matter, or 3 x2. Okay, you want to x2 minus x. Minus 1 minus 3 is minus 4. So radical minus 4 squared plus 2 minus 6 is 8 squared. You get, rounded up to 9. Okay, the x component and the y component of the parametric equation. So with them, the equation of the line. You know that the equation of a line is, the equation of the line when you have 2 points is the first point, okay, which is A. Okay, like the vector of it, plus t times the vector of the second point minus the first point. Okay, so this is going to be equal to A, which is 3i minus 6j, okay, plus t, B minus A. Minus 1 minus 3 is minus 4i, minus 4i. Then 2 minus 6 is 8j. Okay, so this is how it's going to look. We have 3, right? And the one with t is what? Minus 4, right? For the x component, for the i's, the x component, and you want the I. How about the y for the j's? We have minus 6, and then the one with t is 8. Okay, that's it. So for the people who like to memorize, and I don't know, I don't think he's gonna get this written, but for the people who like to memorize, you can just take the first number down here and the first number down here. Then for the second number, you just do the second one minus the first one. Minus 1 minus 3 is minus 4, and 2 minus 6 is 8. You can just memorize like that if you want, if you have 2 points. Question 7. Line R is given by 2i minus 6j. What is the vector perpendicular to this line? Okay, you know when vector is perpendicular, that means their dot product is 0. When you multiply them, you get 0. And we know the dot product in this case, you know the dot product a times b is equal to a1, sorry, x of a times b of, ya Allah, sorry, it's the x of a times the x of b plus y of a times y of b. Okay, so 2 times 6, right, plus y minus 6 times y of b, we don't know it. This is all equal to 0, right? So 12 minus 6y of b equals 0 minus 6. Okay, you get minus 6y of b equals minus 12. You get y of b equals 2. Okay. Question 9. Okay, oh, that's a long question. A student went from a point OA, okay, to a point whose position vector OB is this, along a straight line with midpoint C. Yeah, so along a straight line with midpoint C, then they're saying what is the coordinates of the middle of a journey. So yeah, they want the midpoint. How do you find the midpoint? When they say position vector, it's the same as saying this is a point, minus 6 comma 10. Okay, I'm telling you, but that's what position vector means. When you say position vector, whenever you say position vector, that means the initial point is at the origin. So minus 6i plus 10j is minus 6 is here. Okay, it's a point, right? Since we said position vector. Okay, same thing here. 2i minus 4j, it's over here. Okay, this is the same thing as points. Anyway, so they want the midpoint in between the journey. The first point is minus 6 comma 10. Here the second point is 2 minus 4. Let's see, minus 6 plus, midpoint m is x1 plus x2 over 2 comma y1 plus y2 over 2. Okay, x1 plus x2 minus 6 plus 2 over 2 comma y1 plus y2 10 minus 4 over 2. Minus 6 plus 2 over 2 is minus 2. Now 10 minus 4 over 2 is 3. Okay, so you get minus 2, 3. The distance traveled by the student. Okay, the distance you do to final minus, sorry, radical x2 minus x1 squared. So 2 minus minus 6 squared is 8 squared. And minus 4 minus 10 squared is minus 14. So plus, sorry, minus 14 squared. Okay, you're gonna get, let's see, radical 8 squared plus minus 14 squared. Remember to put the negative inside the brackets, huh? You get 16. Okay, after reaching point B, a student makes a right 90 degrees turn and walks towards the x-axis. Okay, let's draw this so we can understand this a bit. Okay, so we have OA minus 610, so it's like here. Okay, this is A. And then we have OB, which is 2 minus 4, so like it's over here. Okay, so we're doing here. Okay, and after she reached B, she makes a right 90 degrees turn and starts walking towards the x-axis. So she starts going up. But this turn was 90 degrees. So it's something like this, okay? Okay. A unit vector in such direction to the nearest decimal place is what? Okay, for this one, it took half an hour and I honestly couldn't find a way, like a proper way to solve. But what I found on websites, and like for now, I don't know, don't take my word for it. If this does come in the exam, just do what I'm about to do, okay? I'm not convinced with the way of solving, but remember we had the point here, we had the point here. They came down here, then they took a right turn, right? A 90-degree turn. Okay, a unit vector in such direction to the nearest decimal place. طيب, نحن here, this vector from A, which was minus 610, and B, which is 2 minus 4, it's actually 8i minus 14j. You can find it if you do 2 minus minus 6, 8, minus 4 minus 10, minus 14. Okay, to find the unit vector, usually, we just do divided by the magnitude, which in this case is 16, right? So we can do that. But since we took a turn, we're calculating the unit vector of this one here, right? Okay, so they're perpendicular. So apparently, if two vectors, unit vectors, are perpendicular, you just swap their coordinates. So it becomes 14i plus 8j. أكيد it won't be negative 14i because we're going up now, okay? And we're going to the right, okay? Just like هيك, okay? So we have 14i plus 8j, and we're going to divide by the magnitude 16. We're going to get 14 over 16i plus 8 over 16j. And when you divide, you're going to get 0.9i plus 0.5j. Okay, so for the last part, when you travel towards the x-axis, you're going to reach a point over here on the x-axis for which it's x comma 0. You know, if you're on the x-axis, then y equals 0, akid, right? So this point, x comma 0. The vector between, let's call this point D, and between our point B over here will be x minus 2, right? As my I. And my j will be 0 minus 4, which is 4j. Okay, we know that the unit vector u is equal to the vector v divided by the magnitude of the vector v, right? طيب, the unit vector in this case, 0.9, equals the vector v, which is x minus 2, divided by the magnitude of v, which we're trying to find now, right? Also, we know that 0.5, and you know now if you divide x minus 2 by 0.9, it won't work. But we also know that the 0.5, again, unit vector, 0.5 equals the vector which is 4, right, over the magnitude of v. صح? How do we find vector magnitude of v? The magnitude of v will be 4 divided by 0.5, which is 8. Okay. Question. OA is given by 2i plus 4j. Vector OB of magnitude 10 is perpendicular to OA. Okay. Here, why they're saying there's two solutions is because when something is perpendicular, I'll show you. Like you have this 2i plus 4j, so it's over here at 2 comma 4, like somewhere over here, right? Oh shit. Let me redraw. Hold up. Over here. Okay, it can be perpendicular like this, or it can be perpendicular like this, right? So it can be up or down. So if I can find this angle over here, and then I can either add 90 or subtract 90, right? Yeah, I can add 90 or subtract 90. So let's find this angle here. We know this is 2 comma 4. How do we find the angle? It's shift tan y over x, right? So let's see. Shift tan 4 over 2. Shift tan 4 over 2. You get 63.43. Let's just say 63.4. Okay? Or to the nearest integer, so let's just say 63. Okay. Let's do now 63 plus 90, you're going to get 153. And 63 minus 90, you're going to get negative 27. Okay? So we're going to solve now to find the x component using both these angles. Let's see. How do you find the x component? It's always magnitude times cosine of theta, right? The magnitude is 10. So our first one is going to be 10 cosine 153. And then our second one is 10 sine negative 27. Okay? 10 cosine 153. And you get negative 8.9. We round it up, that's negative 9. Okay? And then 10 cosine negative 27. 8.9. Make it round to the nearest integer, it's 9, right? So our two possible are 9 and negative 9. They're saying, what is the y component when you have positive x? So when we had positive x, it's when we use negative 27 as our theta. So we're going to do 10 now, sine theta, and we used negative 27 when we got to positive x, so we're going to use negative 27 again. Okay, 10 sine negative 27. You can get minus 4.5 to 2SF. Okay, 10. Vector OA is given by 24i plus 7j. Vector OB is this, the scalar product of these two vectors. The scalar product of two vectors would be the x 1 times x2 plus y1, y2. Okay, so you get 24 times 4 plus 7 times minus 3. We should get 75 يعني. You get 75, yeah. What is the angle between these two vectors? We know that also to find the scalar product, okay, it's to the magnitude of the first vector, let's say A, times magnitude of the second vector times cosine theta. The magnitude of the first vector would be radical 24 squared plus 7 squared, which is equal to, I don't know, hold up, 7 squared, 25, صح? Yeah, 25. You get 25, and then the magnitude of this one is 5 if you do it. I won't do it. You should do it. 3 squared plus 4 squared, radical that is 5. Okay, so you're gonna get 25 times 5 times cosine theta equals 75, right? The product, we found it. So you're gonna get 125 cosine theta equals 75. So theta equals shift cosine of 75 over 125. Okay, 75 shift cosine, 75 over 125, you get 53.13. OC is the median of the triangle OAB. Its coordinates is what? When you see median, that means midpoint. Okay, C is the midpoint. What's the midpoint between A and B? Okay, here the midpoint would be x1 plus x2 divided by 2, so 24 plus 4 divided by 2, comma 7 minus 3 divided by 2. So you're gonna get 14 comma 2. Okay, so if you were to draw this 14 comma 2. Oh, خلاص, yeah, that's the answer, just 14 comma 2. They want the coordinates of the median, of the midpoint, so 14i plus 2j. Because they said O. Some people will say, but then don't they want the vector O? O means with respect to the origin, and anything with respect to the origin, like this here, with respect to the origin, so if you do minus 0, it's just the same as the point itself, okay? There's no need. When you see O, that means they're saying with respect to the origin, so you just put the point itself, okay? Question 11. Okay, you have these two vectors. What's the scalar product of them? 3 times 2 is 6, plus minus 4 times 8, you get minus 26. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Good luck.